Welcome back. Once again exploring the world of Mushoku Tensei, and quite a development. Like we saw at the end of the first half of this season, Rudy and Sylviette have cemented their relationship, and seemingly he's taking this so seriously, he's finding a house, wanting to be settled down with her. Has there been another show which has moved so maturely in its kind of relationship status with characters? Maybe, but none spring to mind. And unlike certain medical issues that Rudy has suffered, the rest of it all seems fairly relatable. I, for one, have, as I said before, got a beautiful new abode to live in. I just need possibly the most crucial next step of having the one that I care most about live here as well. It's quite lonely. But for the time being, I can at least live vicariously through Rudy and his adventures. So, now that the puppet of the house and the mystery has been cleared up, at a relatively cheap price, what next? I'm guessing show everyone around and make grand announcements of what's to come in the future. Unless it still has to be kept under wraps because of her bodyguarding duties and alternate personality that she shows off at school. Oh yeah, how's that one gonna go down? Let's find out. So strap in, grab a drink, and I'm preparing to have a wide smile. And to be fair, from where we saw it with the windows and everything seeming to need a little work, it does look quite nice now it's all done up. Especially after what we saw with the roof. A housewarming party? Okay, so it's a... You're bringing Buddy? Does she have any other friends or anything that can join, or is it she limited to just the princess and that side? Does that... No, she... But does that mean that we'll get a surprise announcement from his family just showing up? It's going to be quite a lively little... It's going to be a lively little party, isn't it? What question could she... Yeah, have they had much interaction before? I was just thinking that. Does she know something about the curse or what's going on that side of it? What was that? Just... I think I just unconsciously smile every time that Sylviette's on screen. But this is a rather pointed introduction and opening, isn't it? They definitely get a bit more... There's the butt doll. Definitely get a bit more of the family life and the sisters. Although, his mother's still missing out there, isn't she? I think that thought came to my mind just as we saw her there. I do hope that alongside the really nice, heartwarming scenes that we're seeing with Rudy setting up his future life with his future wife, we get the what was that giant bone? Overly intense animation they'd expect from a fantasy-esque show like this. We haven't had that many battle scenes recently. He's got to look close. I mean, he does seem a little ragged, especially around the bottom, yeah. Well, she's going to be having fun with this one. Do they have... all? I like it. I can barely see him. It seems fairly similar to the one he has now, yeah. Lucky rat pelt. If it's good against acid and or poison, seems... I mean, he's just shelled out on a house, so... You know, big expenses aren't exactly new to him. Does that mean there's going to be extra charge? How often can he use his name as a bargaining chip now? Shopping for beds. Reminds me, I still need to get a bed. Been living here for 5 months. Now that he's got a life like this, you don't want to throw it away. But is it on her to help with these kind of finance worries? Considering in this world, it's the man's duty to provide a house and everything before a marriage. Charcoal. Yeah, give her a little more credit. The fact that she is so not in the bath. Okay. There's very little that could control him in that moment. I was about to say, before I was rudely interrupted, that such a sweet development in a situation like that. Does Bodyguardy have much else that he's actually doing? Bless them with her presence. Is she taking a break from researching magic circles and the rest? She needs a... Using knowledge from past life, make potato chips. Is that going to... Okay, that's good. At least they said something like that about Fitz. A month or so. So that once all the party is said and done. Well, now that they've gathered everyone here, they'll just have to fill Bodyguardy in later on what was going on. He arrives precisely when he means to. Just so he was, what, waiting outside, just listening in for the beginning of the speech? To really make this special. How grateful we are for you. So, yeah, he's not great at public speaking. Cut through the bullshit. Say exactly what is necessary right there. Buddy Guddy has his usefulness. What would we do if he did arrive a month late? I think Rudy would still be snacking by the fire. I think Rudy would still be trying to get through his speech, keeping the mask on, but wolfing down those chips. Crisps. It doesn't have a fence or anything yet. A year? Does she get paid for this time off? Does this world have a idea of maternity leave? Anything that may have occurred in the past is now behind them, so they're moving on. You heard the speech earlier, what Buddy Guddy was saying. There's no need to stand on ceremony. No need for the Grand Master stuff right now. He will repent immediately. It's not like everybody else, including Rudy himself, also got it wrong. Yeah, he was confused for a while, wasn't he? I mean, when is she not eating, to be fair? What I was about to say, does she have a certain smell? Talking about kids already? I mean, Sophia has already mentioned it a few times, but... And now she's off. But having no connection to this world, seeing someone be happy and try to settle down... is this something that they can or want to discuss right now? This is probably something that you should have a word with your future wife about. Thanks, Cliff. Let's not ask the details of how we overcame certain issues. I mean, you would want to stay as far away from Paul as possible. I mean, we've seen what he can be like before. Is this some actual... Is this because, what, of her life and her condition and it seeing someone else have this that she can't settle down with? No, that's not what I was thinking. that would definitely cut it down a lot. And hang on, grandmother, we've seen what she gets up to, or got up to, before she started trying to settle down a bit with Cliff. So having kids, that would explain why she immediately burst in tears after seeing her like this. Be a cluster of emotions. Yeah, after the revelation of having a grandmother so close, and Rudy almost intergenerational relationship. So what, don't think less of her because of who the grandmother is? I mean, he already knows about her curse and what that all means. That's what should be, yeah, the most worrisome of all of this grand reveal. But how's Sophia gonna think about having a grandmother so close to her now? But also, I mean, having a place of a birth is rather... It's rather sparse for this world, so not surprised that they want to stop by when they can. I think that's wise, actually, having them spend a little bit of time to unpack everything. I think it's also good if these two out here have a bit of a conversation as well. It's not exactly that there'll be some massive falling out over it all. And so she's not going to see them off? Despicable. Everyone wants a word or two, don't they? No magic, pure swordsmanship. Is this because of what we had earlier with Luke saying, oh, no, hard feelings about things? The only thing I can think of is like a tradition or a figurative, like, passing off of, this is the... Or like the footsteps, nice little touch. Passing off of giving away that one bodyguard, and can he be up to the task? Very different styles of sword there. A long sword versus some sort of gladius or... Went straight for the hand. That was not a duel. That was a trouncing. Yeah, before he breaks any tendons or anything. I like that very unadorned sword right there. So it was? Oh. Yeah. I mean, even if he lost, they know he's a a mage. He's a sorcerer. He's not one that is trying to sword fight everything. But knowing that he's strong enough to do that by itself. Yeah, she just found herself on their doorstep. Huh. They're banking on the fact that Sylvie stays away from that life? Is it that she's pleading with her? Let her have this life, the one that she deserves. Healed up that hand now. We can have another... No. Handshake, no friendly banter or anything. Just... Okay, they're leaving. At least that leaves them to have their conversation together. Regale us of the tale. Does she know what the meaning of that duel was then? For that little look? What about Cliff? What does he think right now that his girlfriend is a grandmother? Family and children that she abandoned because of who she is and what she had. I mean, that's an understatement. I'm not thinking there's no disillusionment there, is there? He's even more determined than ever. I mean, if he can look past the curse and her actions before, what's a kid or two? He is fervent in his belief. You gotta give Cliff that at least. And considering it, they have very similar thoughts right there about the ones they love. Everyone has issues of their own, things that they might not want the grander world to know. Growing her hair out? I mean, I like it short, but we'll see. I think he will work tenfold to repay that kind of thinking. Seeing where he came from, not only in the beginning of this story, but his prior life to where he is now, that is a massive step. And a massive indictment of your environment and social circle and support really make who you are. We're getting a rundown of his story and life. His idol and Roxy. The teleportation incident. We just had a massive skip right there. Of one family to another. And considering we've spent time with white-haired Fitz for a while, I'll be looking forward to seeing what new designs Sylviette may have, considering what that line at the end just there. Huh. I wonder what a vision of yourself from the past would say if they could see your life now. I think I'm doing pretty well. I was right. Having this be a continuation of the previous one where he's being so serious and we're getting those slow moments where we can just sit down, enjoy what we have, being Rudy and Sylvie's engagement and marriage and house and life together. There's no need to make it more extravagant than it actually is, just have friends and family around to share the occasion. Even the small parts, the thinking about living together, the going out, maybe some clothes shopping, some furniture. That is the kind of life that I want in, well, not too far in the future. I did want a little bit more of a kickback, though, on the whole Fitz ordeal. I wanted to see more of when people were fully surprised or realised, hang on, Fitz was a girl? But everyone being kind of took in by the occasion. I guess there's no real big surprise. I am going to be honest, I almost completely forgot about Buddy Guddy being a character, let alone be quite influential in helping really calm down during the speech in this one. And there are definitely certain parts of this episode which I am going to have a hard time forgetting. You can choose yourself which parts they are. Also reminds me, I'm probably going to have a bath after this episode. And in an episode like this, where we have a monumental occasion, having a settle down, build a life moment, while also furthering on the other storylines. Remember the girl wanting to go home, remember Eleonise and her curse. If even just one bit, like the Sylviette and her worries about being Fitz and whether or not really remembers her, gets sorted like this, I'm expecting there to be some strong trouble ahead. But to what degree? Granted, the opening was a little bit of a spoilery-ish. I'm guessing the family, being Paul and the kids and whatnot, are going to come visit and apparently stay for a while. We're still missing the mother. There's that journey and adventure still to track her down. There's plenty of stories left to be told, and I am all in for it. Unless the Dragon God or... was it Hitogami? All of that come back and start ruining things, in which case I'll throw a tantrum. And if you would also like to protect that smile that we saw in, well, several episodes now, but let me know if you've enjoyed this, if you enjoyed seeing my face of just bliss, I would say. Leave a like and a comment down below. If you would also like to not miss out on future episodes, consider subscribing to the channel. Maybe join onto my Discord to always be notified of what's coming up next, or when videos get released. But I'm so glad that I have been able to have this journey go from not really knowing anime at all to now where we are today, where I can get my life's goals and feeling of an adequate relationship and future from such a show. Mushoku Tensei has been very influential in so many ways, and I can't wait to watch more. Get some rest though, because I want to see you for the next one. If you want to be part of my channel's new happy life, consider joining onto my Patreon, because although we may not be able to have a home, we can at least sit down in the big bath of YouTube anime watching, which is just as good, as long as you don't think about it too hard. But I do need to thank M.O, Noku, Sao, Guado, Kite, Wolfie Sensei, and everyone else, for without them I would be far too alone in this grand house.